The other news that really has been concerning people is what on earth is happening with Britney, because Britney Spears has been releasing rather disturbing kind of videos and Instagram posts and all kinds of things for some time now.
Yes.
But the latest one is more disquieting than any of the others, isn't it?
As soon as I saw this, I'm not sure about you, my heart just leapt. I thought, oh my goodness, what am I about to watch? You're right. I think since she split with her husband, these videos have become more disturbing, and you're thinking, is anybody looking after her? The video in question is her dancing with two knives. They look like very sharp knives and
large
knives,
and frightening.
And the first video that was deleted actually showed her, she had a bandage on her arm. The dog scarpered as soon as she started dancing. She used a song by Enigma, Sadness, to do this dance routine. She's since deleted the first video. She then reappeared in another video dancing with knives, and she posted that after apparently the Los Angeles Police Department visited her last night, because so many people took to Instagram saying, we are actually quite concerned about what we're seeing here. This is disturbing now. This is not fun. She looks erratic. She doesn't quite look with it, and she's got these two very sharp knives in her hand.
One of the interesting things is lots of people say that Instagram is a place where, and social media in general, a place where people put their best face forward. So you don't see when they're sad, you don't see when they're lonely, you don't see when they're crying, you don't see when they're spotty, you don't see when they're, you know, not looking their best. It's a very kind of airbrushed, kind of polished environment where people all appear to be having the most magnificent time all the time. And actually, it can be very difficult for people's mental health, because they look at everybody else having this magnificent, manicured, exquisite time and think, oh my God, I look terrible, I'm not doing that. I'm not, you know, everyone's having a wonderful time but me. But Britney is a past mistress, isn't she, of signalling very publicly when she's in distress. Everybody remembers the hair.
Yeah, I mean, that happened in 2008. That was such a disturbing, tragic sequence of events. You had the hair, she had the kids taken away from her at the time. Do you remember? She was able to, you know, she was sectioned basically after that. Then you had the conservatorship. She's a year and a half out of that. I just worry, we see this video and she's in her $75 million mansion. Nobody else is around. Who's looking after her? That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Is there anybody taking care of her now the relationship split? These videos are becoming more and more erratic. I've said this in the past, and I hope this is not the case. I'm really concerned that one morning we will wake up and something bad's happened. I
really do hope
and
not.
I really hope it doesn't.
She has made a statement. It is on Instagram, as I suggested, and this is what Britney had to say. She says, I know I have spooked everyone, not half, hasn't she, with the last post, but these are fake knives. No one needs to worry or call the police. I am trying to imitate one of my favourite performers, Shakira. Now, we all love Shakira, but in what way does this imitate Shakira?
There was a video with Shakira dancing with two knives. So, but I mean, this is like, it's nothing compared to that. It was a glossy video. Obviously, you know, fake knives in that video, on a set, people around. This is her on her own, presumably filming something that could have gone badly wrong. Those knives look sharp, and the clanking of the knives, well, they sound like they're real knives. They don't sound like they're plastic. As I say, my initial reaction, you should always go with your gut reaction. What is going on? What is going on? Somebody needs to step in, I think.
The termination of the conservatorship, though, was supposed, wasn't it, to indicate that Britney was now able to look after herself. So when you say, you know, I'm thinking there she is in a $75 million mansion, who's looking after her? Who's with her? Well, you know, I suppose as an adult, now free of the conservatorship, the idea of it is supposed to be that if she's on her own, she's supposed to be all right and stable enough to, you know, to lead some kind of fruitful life on her own. She's certainly still releasing music and dancing and earning a hell of a lot of money, isn't she?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to think she had the world at her feet by the age of 20. So that's, I think she was a child star as well. I think it's really paid a toll. I know journalists in America who've interviewed her, and they've said to me they've been concerned. There was just nothing there, you know, and she found it hard to focus on the interviews. She goes out on stage. She did a summer concert the other year when she said Happy Christmas on stage. It's the kind of a, you know, kind of a bunch of things that have happened over the years. You think, okay.
So the campaigners, the Free Britney campaigners, do you think they may have been not quite aware of what they were trying to achieve. In other words, you know, they felt so much for Britney, but they didn't really know the backstory, didn't really know the psychiatric history properly, and didn't really know the role her father was performing, and just kind of saw something that might not have been the full picture.
Absolutely. We didn't know the full picture, and I think we're learning that now. Maybe, from what we were learning recently, maybe it was actually a good thing, and maybe she was in a safe environment where people were looking out for her and people were looking after her.
I mean, her marriage has crumbled since then, hasn't it?
It has, yes. So
I mean, there are many people who've been through divorce. I'm certainly one of them, where, you know, you feel as if all your anchors are cut at once, and you just, you know, all the things that were making you feel stable and safe and secure and like yourself are suddenly all gone, and you know, you're having to carry on, and you're on your own. You don't want to be on your own. It's very hard.
And as you know, if you're in the public eye, it's probably even worse.
It's not nice.
It's got to be.
It's not nice. Plus, I must say the contrast between, well, I always find, between being in the public eye in public and then when you're home entirely on your own, as you just pointed out, it can be a very crushing contrast. You know, when you're out, everyone appears to know you, everyone calls your name, waves at you, you know, it's all quite kind of convivial. Sometimes when I go out, and I know I'm nowhere near any kind of level of that sort of fame, but just from being on the telly in this country, if I go out, people can call out, "Hi V, you're right, you're right, love, blah blah," and you feel quite, you know, you feel quite loved, and if it's quite kind of sort of collective support, really excellent. I really love it, actually. And then you go home, and if you're single and your marriage has crumbled and everything else, you're suddenly all alone, and it's a horrible contrast.
And you've got to think about the people we've got around us. I know that you love your family, your family love you. They're our foundation, aren't they? And without that, if you haven't got people looking after you, then you really have to worry, because it's a big, big thing. I think our love and prayers go to her. This is distressing, and it's distressing to even be here talking to you about it, and seeing that video, it gave me shivers actually on Monday.
Absolutely, which has played a huge part in many, many people's lives. So, Steve Denyer, thank you very much. It's quite clear your concern is absolutely from the heart.